What's up, Nitro Nation? Yes, we are at the storage converted into a freaking Nitro cave. Hey, man, like I said, I'm a real gearhead. There ain't nothing stopping me. I mean, look at what person do you know, or anybody that you know, that would actually do something like this? Most people would just, okay, well, I'm moving, whatever, you know, till I move into my new pad. Let me just put my shit in storage and whatever. Me? Hell no. That ain't gonna stop me from continuing to do what I love to do, which is wrench, run my shit, and prove my points that, okay, it's not who you know, it's what you know. Or you can do it the other way. Depends on who you're talking about. So anyway, let me start out by saying, let's get back on track, okay? I don't want to have to like get into people's ass. I mean, like I said, if you don't like my channel, you don't like what I say, you don't like how I do things, I'm not begging people to watch me. I think most people like to watch my channel because they know I talk shit and they know I get a lot of shit, but you know what? It is what it is. It's not that I just talk shit because, I have nothing better to do. Most of the time, it's always defending myself. And it seems like as lately, I've been backed in the corner and the muggy's constantly having to punch and kick and scratch his way out. And if that's the way it's going to be, then that's the way it's going to be. But nothing's going to deteriorate from what I do as far as eating, sleeping, breathing 8-scale nitro. There's a lot of guys out there that talk a lot, but again, they never run anything but their mouth. And if you guys want to believe guys that just sit there and teach you shit, but they never show you the end result of what they're teaching you, then that's on you. That to me is ignorant. it's the blind leading the blind. And am I saying that those guys that are teaching on channels out there, or those guys that have knowledge of nitro, don't know what they're doing or aren't teaching anything right? Well, with the exception of a couple? No. All I'm saying is it's hypocritical for you to teach or tell somebody something and yet not show them. Listen, a lot of people, quite to the contrary, and let me fill you in. Okay, there's a lot of people that I thought that I knew, but I don't. They are right. I don't know them. And it's better that I don't know them. And I don't care to know them, and I don't want to know them. I just got through, last night I was watching some, I like to watch John's older videos, Bodegel, Mr. Zah. And he always emphasized, man, you know what? Surround yourself with positive people. Like, if people want to be negatives, and they want to talk trash as far as, and just put out stupid stuff, and the main thing is new people aren't quitting anymore because they can't tune an engine. People are quitting because there's too many people teaching them the wrong things. Listen, where I got my information, where I always learned, wasn't just from John. And you guys think like that the muggy's just I'm a gearhead, yes. And I'm a wrench head, yes. But I've been listen, I've been in marketing and sales, okay, and ran businesses for over 25 years. But I chose not to because it's a lot of politics and a lot of bullshit. That's why I decided to find a decent job where I can do what I love to do, which is wrenching. And I did that. I wore suit and ties. I can pull you out boxes of here where I've got expensive Calvin Klein, DKNY, Jeffrey Beam ties, shirt, all that. I dressed in suit and ties, okay? Believe it or not. Maybe when I get settled into my new place, I'll show you a lot of my suits that I still have. I just keep them. You never know. Somebody might die or somebody might get married. Other than that, and that was cool. I can be like that. I'm not just some gearhead, wrench head, some guy that's, fell off the turnip truck. I'm not like a lot of these rednecks and hillbillies and, and yeah, okay, you're going to get mad and I'm going to get flack for saying that. I'm just keeping it real, man. There's a lot of people out there, and including, whatever. It doesn't mean I'm not racist. There's just, there's a lot of country folks. We'll just say country folks. How's that? Is that a better word to say instead of hillbilly, rednecks? That shit's real. They exist. Okay? We'll just say there's a lot of country folks. People that live in the country, that live in the mountains, that live in the woods, that live out in the middle of nowhere. Okay? That just think and interpret stuff in a whole different way. And that's where I've got a lot of the flack when I've said scrub. The scrub doesn't mean, it's the same, excuse my language. And by the way, this is going to be an X-rated porn video. By the way, when I say scrub, it doesn't mean, you guys, people act like it's a fucking bad word. It's the same thing as a newbie. It's the same, does it make you feel better when I say newbie or rookie? It's the same thing as a scrub. The same thing as a ninth grader. That's the way that I look when I came into Nitro in ninth grade. Or whatever. The goal is to eventually graduate. And where do you graduate once you get through high school, so-called, of Nitro? Fifth scale, which I'm going to be getting into in the next few months. And Mr. Zah has made a commitment, which is awesome, because, me and the guy, we talk all the time. And people say, oh, John must be a cool... Listen, half of the people out there on channels that do videos or do whatever, like some of the rant and raves that I seen yesterday, don't even know John. I know John personally. I've known John for 6 years now, since I've been doing this. And now we talk a lot, and I've got to know John even better. He's got my back, and he tells me, just stay away from these knuckleheads. He even was telling me, he goes, man, I went through the same thing you went through when I was new. People talking shit, and people giving me a hard time. Remember he said, who? Chris, Everyday RC, told him that, he didn't say his name, but I know who he is, and we know who he is. Everyday RC, which was this big guy, and for a long time on YouTube. When I came in, he was pretty big. And he told John that he would never make it where he's at. Now, where's Chris RC now? Everyday RC. He doesn't even exist. Fell completely off the map. Like some guys, it's going to happen the same thing to them. It's funny that, that happened to John. With Chris. And now look at John. John's blown up. John's big. Because John, he just keeps it real. He puts in the hard work. Okay? I learned that from him. And not just him. I learned from Adam Drake. I learned from Gordy Testman, Ty Testman's father. Croddick came in later. I learned in Croddick just, not even a year ago. Okay? He was at the tail end of it. I learned a lot of stuff from Ryan Lutz. Okay? Jared Tebow doesn't, I only learned the guys that do the videos, and even the Nitro Turd. I learned a lot of stuff from the Nitro Turd. The biggest thing I learned from the Nitro Turd is clutching. It's clutch. He has one of the best old school, his old ones, not his bullshit whack videos now. He has one of the best clutch, like breaking it down to a science as far as how everything works, up to the weight, to, everything. Okay? He understands rotating mass. He understands how important clutches are to your nitro motor running and tuning to perfection. But those are the guys I learned from. I like I said, I always relate, I like to relate a lot of this to sports. I'm a sports guy. I love sports. Football and basketball primarily. I like hockey because they just beat the shit out of each other. Soccer, yes, because I'm Mexican. I grew up, my dad coached soccer teams. I played regional soccer for many, many years. Okay, and I got really good at it, but my shins got jacked up too. So, and then I was never the guy that was going to pursue a professional career in sports. But I love sports. I'm a huge Dallas Cowboy fan, which, by the way, this body here, the old techno body, actually the first one that I did, it's getting beat down. Look at that. Paint's coming That's a basher. I got another one of those coming. I'm also looking at the Proline, I forgot what they're called. Proline has a badass techno body. Because I don't want to just keep getting the same body. I want to try the Prolines. They're just pricey. J Concepts are decent priced. But anyway, the next body that I will be painting for my techno will be a Dallas Cowboy body. I've got a few ideas. I'm going to put some of my favorites on there, their numbers. Like maybe an Emmitt Smith, which is all-time leading rusher, one of my favorite running backs. Troy Aikman, obviously. Maybe a Tony Dorsett. Maybe guys like Nate Newton, which he was a lineman, but he's, Hall of Famer, definitely. Or Michael Irving. Some of my favorite Cowboy players. I'm gonna not there on here, but what I'm gonna do, and this is still in the works, not gonna be for a minute. I'm gonna put their numbers all around it. Probably a big star in the front of it, and obviously, I think the color that I am gonna use, I think I'm gonna use this blue, this bluish color here. But anyway, I'm gonna build a badass Dallas because I love the Cowboys, man. That's my football team, man. And we just gotta spank those Eagles' ass. And who knows? Like I said, we still could make the playoffs, man. As shitty as we've been playing this year, and as shitty as that division is, we could still make it. So anyway, so I'm going to do that. But I relate stuff to sports. So if when I came into Nitro, I wanted to surround myself and learn from the guys that were the best. Not some John Doe off to the side. Not some Tom whatever. Guys that actually, were heavy hitters in 8-scale Nitro. Okay, one of them was John at the time. Nitro Turd was another one that I learned a lot from. I started to get into Ryan Lutz in the early days when he was still with Durango. And then he went to Techno, and then now he's with Agama. And he still does video. Ryan Lutz is one of those guys that does some very, very good videos. I recommend watching him. And then obviously Adam Drake. And then Motor Modders, Rick was my first guy that I got in contact with through Mr. Za. I didn't ever get a chance to Neil, and then Lance, and then there's guys out there that think because they spend a bunch of money on some tools and shit and spend $2,000, they're gonna be a perfect. Listen, unless you have dyno machines, unless you have CNC machines, unless you manufacture, make your own blocks, motors, and engineer that shit, and pipes as well, you don't know dick. Okay, and there's people out there that like, oh man, yeah, I'm gonna learn from my buddy here and there, and I'm gonna engine modding. And listen, all I gotta say is, and ask Trevor on this, go get a motor modded by RCR Lance Hedman, and trust me, you will never regret it. You will be amazed. His motors are badass. He knows what he's doing. The guy worked for Pico. He designed a lot of Pico motors. The owners of Pico just gave him a recognition for his work that he did with Pico, telling him if it wasn't for Lance Hedman, Pico would have never got back afloat because they were sinking for a time. I mean, and I known Lance. It's not just some guy, I read an article on, or some guy that I've been talking to Lance for 2 years. I know Lance personally. We talk at least once a week. I just talked to him not too long ago, a few days ago. And he always fills me in on what's going on. The guy knows, he's very intelligent. Like I said, he's a master mechanic. And there's guys that are out there that claim like, oh yeah, well you're not a real, unless you do wrenching for a living, I'm sorry, you don't qualify as a real wrench head. Or if you've done some extensive mechanical stuff. Have you ever tore down a big block Chevy or a 350? Or a small block? Have you ever torn it apart and put pistons in and change the timing change and did the lifters and all that? Have you ever done anything like that? Okay, if you have, then well, you got some mechanical experience, and you possibly could be mechanically inclined and qualify as a gearhead. Okay, it's not just guys that rode dirt bikes and again, my brother. Shout out to my brother Trevor. What's up, Trev? He's my boy, aka Gearhead Addict. His name is Trevor. He sends me videos periodically through the day of him. He's a diesel mechanic, man. Okay, guys like Just Joe. He works on transit vehicles, man. Giant diesel buses. 1/5 RC. That guy's a mechanic too. These guys are real gearheads. They do it for a living. What do? I do industrial aerospace manufacturing, CNC machining, pipe bending. I work with every single metal known to man. Titanium, stainless steel, you know, aluminum, you name it. So I'm pretty versed on my metals. And I love heavy metal. I just had to throw that one in there. So anyway, I learned from all these guys, and that's what I did, is to apply it to to 8-scale nitro. I didn't just, you know, go look for somebody that was, you know, Joe Schmo or whatever. I mean, these guys that I mentioned, these are heavy hitters still in 8-scale nitro, and some have moved on to 5th scale. But anyway, so what I want to talk about a little bit is not only a little bit of updates, but I'm also going to give away a motor. I have decided to redo that contest. I didn't get a lot of people. Guess what? People don't want free motors. Maybe they didn't want the OFNA. So this is what we're going to do. The Muggy, because the Muggy cares, and people say, oh, the Muggy doesn't care. He talks down to people. He doesn't help newbies out. Blah, 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 blah. All of these false accusations. Well, I've given away plenty of shit, and you can ask the guys that received it. I've given away my Muggy stands. These badass stands that I custom make, I've given those away. I've given, you know, traded, but I've also given tons of these little stands away. I mean, I've given pipes away. I mean, that's lights out. I mean, I set him up with a pipe, a clutch, a bunch of shit. You know what I'm saying? And another thing, I will always defend those guys. One lights out. Okay, and I'm not going to mention names. The guy that talks shit about him, no, I don't know, because I didn't hear the conversation. It's he say, she say to me. Anyway, but, you know, I mean, if you're going to call somebody out or talk shit to somebody, call them if you have their number. There's guys out there that have my number, but they don't have the fucking, excuse my language, fucking balls to call me or text me and let me know what's up personally. They'd rather make a fucking video and rant and rave about a bunch of shit and end up fucking sticking their own foot in their own mouth. Okay? And just making them look like an idiot. You know? And at the same time, while they're gnawing on some chew. Kind of, no class, man. Do all Southern people have no class like that? I don't know, man. I lived in Texas for almost 10 years. And Texas was a badass place. I loved it. I love the Cowboys. I'm a Spurs fan also. Diehard. Cowboys and Spurs are my favorite. Those are my teams. Baseball, I'm a Dodger fan because I'm in LA and I grew up in LA. Dodgers, or as us Mexicans say, Dodgers. Go Dodgers. They have a shirt like that. D-O-Y, Go Dodgers. But anyway, and I love the Kings. Okay, which is the only thing that LA's actually got to brag about, and you know, they at least won a couple Stanley Cups in the last 5 or 6 years. But anyway, so, you know, people have my number. They don't have the balls to call me and tell me whatever they want to say. They got to make a video, and, you know, I mean, I don't know. And then they say, oh, well, man up. Oh, man, be a man about it. Oh, yeah, be a man about what? You're the pussy that's making videos and talking shit to somebody that all you have to do is call because you have their number. But you don't have the balls, and you want to say, oh, man up. Shut the fuck up. People like that just fucking irritate the fuck out of me, and they think they're the ones you call broke know-it-alls. And I might not be broke financially. A broke know-it-all is also somebody that thinks they know it all, but they're broke intelligent-wise as far as knowledge and what they think they know. Okay? And I'm not saying that I know all this and I know all that. I'm nobody. I'm a fucking schmuck with a phone using it to make videos. I don't even have a legit camera. So I never claimed to be anybody. Okay? And people, when they say, oh, well, you're exactly right. You are nobody and will never be anybody. Okay? And that's why those people have 0 views, no subs, because nobody gives a fuck about what you're saying unless you got proof and evidence of what you're saying. Okay? And showing people on video. Oh, well, I made and then they say, well, I made... Listen, if you're going to teach and if you're going to show people shit and show your shit, you better run your shit and not just your fucking mouth. Okay? Again, that's your mouth writing your checks that your ass will never cash. That's why I say that, because that shit happens. You know? Mr. Zah's like, man, I can't watch a lot of these people, man. You know? That's why Mr. Zah unsubbed to a lot of people, because he was like, man, I can't watch these guys anymore. Forget it. And me and him were laughing about it yesterday when I was talking to him. You know? And he just told me, hang in there, man. Don't worry about these knuckleheads, you know? Just do your thing. You know, he even told me, he said, hey, man, you're doing things the right way. You're not perfect. You're not, you know, obviously not what he was, or whatever. You know, I'm not like the best thing since sliced bread. Okay? He just said, you know what, you're doing things the right way. And I feel that I teach people from my experience. And I always tell people, my disclaimer is, don't believe me. Don't go by what I say or what I do. Okay? Do your own homework and do your own research, which I do. That's how I learn. I study. I study this shit. Okay? From the right people. Not just some Tom, Dick, and Harry. So, I am going to give away a motor. Who knows? It might be a Novorossi Legend. I've got a few of them. I'm getting more. Oh, I might give away this P5. I might give away this Reds R5. I've hardly ran this thing. This thing's brand new still. It's a decent motor. It's not anything, you know, to write home about, but it is a Reds. It's, you know, it's their budget Reds. It's like a $300 motor. It's pretty badass. You know, I might give that away. You know, well, I might give this away. This thing's brand new too. There's nothing on, I mean, if you look at the piston on this, if you can see it, the piston on this puppy here, shit, look at that. Shit's brand new. There ain't nothing on that piston. You guys see that? You see that piston? Look at that shit. Look at that. Barely anything on it. Doesn't even have any carbon buildup. Probably got like not even a quart through it. I don't even think it has 5 tanks through it. So anyway, I might give away that. I was going to give away this, but you know what? I don't think I'm going to give away this, even if somebody wanted it. This is a classic right here, man. Hyper 21 Offnet. Badass motor. I think it's like a 7-port. There's the Kyosha, famous Kyosha carb. That carb will work on an LRP .32. Won't be the best carb, but it'll be a way, way better carb than that X-Tech piece of shit. So if you guys have LRP .32s and you can't afford to buy a $80 or $70 or even a $60 Novorossi carburetor, and you want to get a decent tune, I have a video where I ran this on an LRP. You guys can go watch it on an LRP 32. When I was breaking in, I ran this carburetor on that 32, and it was way better than the X-Tech. Now, it's not going to be like the Novorossi carburetor, obviously, but it's going to be a lot better than that one. And this thing's like $15 for this carburetor. I like about the Kyosha carburetor, look at that. You got everything on the same side. High end, low end, idle adjustment, all on the same side. Who would have figured that would be a good idea, right? So anyway, I'm going to give away a motor. And what's the contest? It's whoever can show me pictures, send me pictures, whatever, do a video of the cleanest, and I don't mean the baddest, cleanest. Well, how about we'll do this? Okay, we'll make it, we'll do this. We'll make it the cleanest and baddest RTR you got. Okay? Now, I don't care if it's a pull start, rotor start, seal back, doesn't matter. I want to see a clean. Now, what I mean by clean, now look, I just got done the Techno NT 48.3 just got clean. Look at that. Okay, when I talk clean, I want you to take video and show me the inside of your hubs. Do you see that? There ain't nothing in there but lubrication, people. Look at that. See the arms? I mean, I will show you. Look, every nook and cranny on this thing. It's so clean, you can see all the scuffs and scratches. That's how clean it is. I don't play. When the Muggy cleans his shit, I take my shit apart. I don't do, you know, like equivalent, like I said, running it through the car wash. This shit gets hand detailed when needed. I don't do it all the time, but I do it, you know, most of the time. Because if you want your shit to last, I mean, look. These things are smooth like butter, right? Hell yeah, they are. Okay, and with these aluminum shafts, forget about it. Another quick tip, there you go. See that aluminum, like the aluminum tape? I run this shit all on the inside of my radio box. I don't want any heat affecting any of my servos. I don't care. Less chance of any servos taking a shit. Because when your servo takes a shit and it locks up, there ain't nothing stopping that. Okay? Don't get that twisted, people. I've given you all the proof that you need. And facts. Okay? You want to go ahead and run what you want to run. Do your thing. But don't cry to me when your shit goes flying into a wall. And I've had plenty of them. Am I proud of them? No, but the reason I said that is because I have experience. That's my point. So anyway, look, this shit is clean. I'm trying to do this. I want to finish this out here. I'm going to, you know, because these come all black and they kind of look plain. I wanted to kind of, you know, I did this a little bit right here. Kind of polish it out. But anyway, so anyway, look how clean that is. Look at the inside. See the inside of those hubs in the rear right there? Come on, man. That shit don't get any cleaner than that, people. You could eat off any part of my whips because I keep my shit clean. I mean, even look at, check out, and this one's been sitting. I got to get this one out there. The Mugen 8, it's got to get out there. Look at that sucker, man. It is still fresh and clean. Oh, so fresh and so clean, 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 like a bling, bling. So anyway, we're going to get that out. Okay, so another thing I want to talk about is tools. Now, not a lot of people talk about tools anymore. I mean, some guys do, but some guys don't. And what I mean about tools is a lot of tools eventually wear. And you guys got to be careful with that because when your shit wears out, that's when you'll start stripping shit. Now, knock on wood, I was the guy. You know how long it took me to get a set of MIPs? It took me like a long time because I couldn't justify spending $40 on 3 screwdrivers, basically. Drivers. Okay? But what I'm going to show you guys something that I think's pretty important. Okay, now I want to show you. Let me point this down, see if I can get this to stay right there. Ah, damn it. Okay, well, I'm going to have to do it like this. I'm going to show you right here. Okay, you're looking at the front end of the Techno. Now, these are my old drivers. Here, let me show you that. These are some of the tools that I use. Okay, you don't need to spend a ton of money. Now, when I first started, I recommend this. If you're a newbie, look, okay, Duratrax, 20 bucks, I think. You get everything you need in here. Okay, this is not the, it's kind of mixed up now, but you know, this driver doesn't last so long. But it's, yeah, Duratrax. Okay, it's beginners, it's a newbie set. Okay, I got this one here, which is pretty decent. This one is by, what's the name on this? Kinexis. I don't know if you guys can, it's upside down, but Kinexis, okay, Horizon, 25 bucks. Yeah, I did give Horizon my money. I'm ashamed of myself. But anyway, this comes with this driver here. That it's not like a ratchet or anything, just a hand driver. It's okay, but it has all these different size bits on them. So one thing, when you're, like I said before, when you're taking it, when you're cleaning your shit before you take anything apart, okay, clean all the hexes out. Clean, don't leave anything in there because if you try to put your shit in there, I don't care if you got MIPs, you're gonna strip your shit out. Okay. Good look at that carbon fiber wrap. Stuff turns out pretty good, man. You know, it'll probably last maybe a couple rip sessions and it'll be all tore up again, but it's like, who cares, man? Like I said, you get a roll, you get like 10 feet of this shit, okay? If you guys need a part number, whatever, hit me up. I think it's like 10 feet by 4 or whatever, 12 by 4, for like 15 bucks. It's not even 20 bucks. I'm carbon fiber and everything. Oh, check out who came out of hibernation. Yeah, she didn't want to be in the box. She didn't like being in the box. So I, you know, let her out and put her up on display. She just, even though she's not doing anything right now, she needs a new chassis. I'm going to replace that chassis, like I said. I could still run it. I might run it. But anyway, replacing the chassis. And I did find a barely used set of brand new Mugen shocks. These shocks work. I've never had an issue with them, okay? I just think it'll benefit from these newer Mugen shocks. I mean, the newer Mugen shocks, these things are badass. Okay? But if you buy them and build them, they're about $130 for all 4. I found them used. Great shape, mint condition. I think it was RC, I can't remember what site it was on, but for like, I want to say 40-something bucks, 50 bucks maybe, which is dirt cheap. And they're already built. I'll probably just have to put my own shock fluid in it. But I'm going to put these shocks here on the MB5 Prospect here. Got the reds in there too. I thought about giving that motor away, but it's modded. Hell no, I ain't giving no modded motor away. I'm nice, but I'm not that nice. I am, like I said, I'm going to give some lucky winner, whoever can show me the cleanest, baddest RTR, ready to run, it can't be a kit, is going to win, is going to get a free motor to put in that thing. And if you have a pull start or roller start, you're going to benefit from this contest, because any one of these motors will be probably better than half the people have out there in their shit, in their RTRs. Sure in the hell be better than the Dynamite. So anyway, yeah, so let me show you. These are my old MIPs. I have a brand new set. Okay, I have some Huddies. I've got these little MIP. These things are expensive. I got them free when I bought my MIPs. The guy threw them in. These are 15 bucks a piece. I barely use them. They're more for like turnbuckles, but they're pretty cool. Like I said, I've got some Huddies. These are okay. They're Offnas. They just don't make them anymore. I got it because it's more of a collectible. I probably shouldn't even open up the box. These are by Offna. They're okay. They're not bad. They're not anything to write home. These are one of my favorite. I'm very surprised. These are by Yaw Racing. Go online, look them up. You can get a set of, I think a set of 4 of these for like 25 bucks. And I didn't think they were going to be that much. I have not stripped these out. And these, I like them because they stay sharp. The problem that you will have with MIPs, believe it or not, these ends on the MIPs will eventually round. And I thought, well, I don't know. Really? Check this out. Okay, I'm going to put this into here. Okay, this is the top bolt. You guys can see that. Okay, and it's not stripped, but it's starting to get there. Now look at this. Okay, you guys can see that? Let me focus you. See that? Look, see how loose it is? Look. I'm barely turning it, see? It wants to strip. Okay, and I'm thinking, well, maybe, let me try a different one. That's where these have always come in. Whenever I use these Yaw Racing here, these ones here, they got more bite than the MIPs. They bailed me out. A lot of these Yaw Racings have bailed me out a lot. Okay, look, see, it grabs a lot better. But see, then it wants to slip a little bit. Ooh, see that? See how it just slipped? See, there it goes. Now watch this. Okay, brand new. I've never used these yet. I still got to put the little labels on them. Brand new. Okay. MIPs. These are brand. Look at these things, man. Don't they look sick? And they're brand new. They look so fresh. I don't even want to use them. Okay, brand new. Watch this. Take that off. You guys watching? Okay. Put it in the same one. Ready? Look at that. There ain't no stripping. You hear? Look it. Is it stripped turning? No? What? Does that mean that your MIPs, you should replace them? Yes, you should, because they don't... Now, I heard you can send them in. I'd have to do some research. You can send them in and they'll resharpen them. So, if that's the case, definitely is what I'm going to do with my old set here. But